Here we are, my friend. June newsletter about to come out.
Yeah, look at that, eh? June. Merry Christmas, everyone. Just in case you blinked.
Yeah, the Christmas roast, the middle of the year Christmas roast. We always go over, mate. So one of the things that I know is we've got a full conversation today. We've got lots to talk about. June newsletter is full of interesting and informative pieces of information that our community can learn by, contribute to, and add value around. I'm going to ask you straight up, another month under the belt, how are the numbers looking, and understanding this is all organic, word of mouth referrals from our amazing community.
Yeah, look, super excited, Smithy. I think we reported a couple of months back, maybe 6 weeks ago, that we had clipped over the recorded time of over 10,000 hours being committed by our volunteer community. Well, congratulations to all those that are still active on the platform and doing a great job. Sorry? Yeah, the community. Right?
Our community.
Because we've now just kicked over 14,500 hours, and that's just unbelievable in relation to, we can start to really validate some of the numbers that volunteers are doing. And I know that you had a catch up with one of the super Firefly users, which I'll let you talk about that in a second. But yeah, so for all of our volunteers that are on the platform and seeing the benefits of that, we are streamlining into making that more useful information, not just for you, but when we can go and punch some corps now really hard about the fact that our volunteers are awesome people and doing a fantastic job to making our communities better. So good on you all for logging your hours and
smashing it out there. And the learnings we'll get to later are quite immense as we talk to people out in our communities regularly. It's awesome. So the other interesting thing that I wanted to bring to the table was we've got some terrific news, more and more feedback loops on what people want in market for our new app, which is due now into August. We've added a whole heap of interesting and high-value features, which is going to extend our drop date, but I think it's going to be worth it, Darryl. You've seen some of these things coming through. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, it's again, we're just amazed in the platform, in the opportunity that volunteers give us by providing that feedback to try and improve our app and improve the offer to make their life easier. And although our CEO did make an announcement last month.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, appreciate that.
We're going to have it out the door. We thought
it was feeling defensive.
No, listen, it was prudent to say, hey, listen, these are really good suggestions, and can we do it without it blowing out to another 6 to 8 months in dev? So really excited and really grateful of the fact that our volunteer audiences keep talking to us about what they need, what they want, and what we can do to help make their life easier. So yeah, we've managed to squeeze them into our development team to get those done. And like you said, Smithy, it's going to be worth the wait.
Definitely worth the wait.
Fantastic.
Cool it's a neat looking app, and I think it's going to add some huge value. Alrighty, so formally now, we want to talk about our newsletter and some of the people that we get to celebrate in our wonderful community, mate. Alongside some other things that we like to tell our people out there that we're doing for them.
I'm just going to jump in before you get started on the newsletter. I've got a couple of really important shout outs to some special people.
Okay.
Abby Williams from Letters of Hope. Congratulations, Abby. The Young Australian of the Year for the Gold Coast region.
Incredible. I've seen your coffee catch up, mate. Unbelievable story. Just an amazing organisation.
Yeah, and one of the others and he's more a background guy, but Ian Westmoreland from Kintsugi Heroes, and Kintsugi Heroes, for all those that don't know, are a storytelling organisation that helps support people by relating other stories, that have taken tragedy to triumph. And he was awarded the Order of Australia
I had a person that I know intimately that's fairly capable and achieved individual, and his Order of Australia, which he got in the political scene for doing some amazing things, sits square and centre as his most valuable prize. So
yeah.
do not
So,
underestimate what Ian's doing out there from that perspective.
so great kudos to those awesome people that are being recognised in the greatest sense. Obviously, we recognise them all the time because we think they're great. So to Ian and to Abby from the Firefly team, congratulations. We know how well worthy you are of those awards.
Yeah, and look, this is the point, right? The bit that we're really trying to work with our community around, we talk a little bit around a token that we think is a community-based token, and why we would bring that into bear, really sits around how our network operates collectively. And to think that brands, retailers, local shops wouldn't want to get behind and have these people as their customers,
Yeah,
it's mind-numbing to think that they wouldn't. I can't think of a reason personally why they wouldn't. And so when we go out there and we talk to the small business community, we have our chats and they're on the fence, my statement to them most of the time is, you are supporting these people. These are the influencers. Abby's got 800 volunteers in her stable that do incredible things, writing letters for people that are in despair, personal letters. And we all forget that it's not just the letter; it's the thinking, it's the design of making sure that the communication's correct. It's the drive down to the post office, buy the stamps, buy the paper, all that stuff that volunteers do that people forget about, because they think just when you see them, that's their job. It ain't the case. They're working behind the scenes. They're busting their asses every day for their causes to see an outcome. And so I really am passionate about, why the hell wouldn't you join Firefly as a business, mate? That's as simple as it is. And I know it's going to be one of the things in a chicken and egg scenario we're going to have to deal with. But if our wargs are out there telling our story and talking to their local businesses and getting in behind this thing, then they're going to get huge value in their own right under our framework. So we just got to get in behind these people, and that includes everyone, our retailers, our local shops, and anyone else that wants to recognise the social impact of great humans.
Yeah. Look, and I'm going to put some pump on our community as well. We can't meet everybody. Like we've talked about it before, Smithy. We have 270,000 not-for-profit organisations, so really hard for you and I to engage in all of them personally. And we have 1.3 million small businesses around the country. So as much as our volunteers are great, like with feedback relative to our app and the platform, don't be scared to reach out and say, hey, listen, there's a really good retailer. Like, you had a conversation about the local butcher that has always been contributing. Do you know what I mean? And we know that 360 economy and 360-degree economy is when the local business supports the organisation and the members and volunteers of the organisation support the local business, we get this natural harmony of that circular process. So if you've got anyone that
already, this is the hilarity. It's being done in a really abstract and unintentional way. And what I mean by that is that there's no mechanism to say thank you in many instances to the businesses. There's no way to allow them to know that you've thanked them by sending customers their way or working with them to improve their function in their community. They're struggling like the org. They're a small business being run by wonderful people who are supporting their communities. So we know there's an intersection. We know it's an easy conversation, particularly if you know these businesses. So volunteers, it's super simple. If you've got a coffee shop, if you've got a fish and chip shop, a pizza shop, a cafe, doesn't really matter. Someone you get along with out there, guess what? Send us their name and we'll have a chat with them and see if they want to come on the platform. It's not hard.
Look, and the other thing is too, is if you're a patron or a customer of a business and they do a great job looking after you, why would you not introduce them to everyone else that's in the volunteer community, right?
Exactly. So that's us, and that's what we're about, is that symbiosis in local community and bringing people together for value, which is why one of the articles is called "Ditch the Cap" and the in-hand approach, which is typically when you need money, you go, shit, we need money. Now we go out and beg for it as an org. It's all about being a bit more professional, building a few more robust systems, thinking about transparency, accountability and information flow, storytelling, social impact outcomes, and building that really strong positive mutual value that isn't started by begging or that the last piece of the design. You know what I mean? Like the victors when you ask for money. There should be so many things that come into play before you ask for money. And if you do those right, then you're going to separate yourselves in a big way out there in your communities. So there's an article about that. We've got some organisations we're going to do a shout out to. Who are those this month, Darryl, that we want to mention?
Yeah, a couple of orgs that have joined. The Callard Valley Tennis Association, the Mazadon Panthers had a really interesting chat with those guys as well. So welcome aboard. And St Vincent's Private Hospital in Northside, Brisbane, which is great because that's part of a greater collective of the St Vincent's Private Hospital network around Australia. So we're really interested. And you know what? The funny thing is, Smithy, that introduction and that came from a media release about one of their volunteers who's been a volunteer there for 40 years, and he serves drinks on a Thursday afternoon to the,
that's right.
to the residents.
40 years, man, 40 years.
Yeah. So again, welcome aboard to all those other orgs. We'll get a shout out to all the other ones that are joining.
We'll keep doing that.
It's hard to keep up with them all now, so we'll do our best to give you a shout out. But yeah, it's just our same narrative. You know, you're doing an awesome service to the community in every capacity, and whether you've got 3 volunteers in your organisation or whether you've got 3,000, each volunteer and each volunteer hour is creating so much good. So shout out to those.
Shout out. The other one was, as you talk about St Vincent's, my mind goes to St Vinny's, and we haven't got St Vinny's on the platform because we're not quite ready for such a big org. And big org being that we can support and deliver value in rewards and inspiration to all of their volunteers, which are in the tens of thousands, right? But what's been really interesting conversation, I think we'll bring out in the next newsletter, is around sustainability, and our network is designed sustainable in. And so we'll talk to that next time round. But when you think about spare capacity, spare product, and things that are on the way out in terms of a retail position, it's a really, really easy play to engage with us and get that story about you doing better in your community sustainably by inviting volunteers to be part of that process. So yeah, part of the app, that's sort of some stuff that came in which we need to cater for. So that's going to be really cool. The really interesting other announcement is our Elytra community token. We can tell a story about the Elytra piece, the Firefly beetle, which Darryl likes to point out. It's not a fly, it's a beetle. But the Elytra is the hard casing around the wings that allows it to fly and shimmer and create that light. And so Elytra is to us the community that gets and supports the volunteers around them and needs to do that. So these tokens are all about building your profile as an organisation in our network. It will be brought into our application over the next quarter. But the point is this: if you engage, if you add value, if you sign on volunteers, if you bring people to actually record and engage in their hours and redeem rewards and all these sorts of things, that will increase your club profile. And when you increase your club profile, what will that get you, Darryl?
Well, that will get you the opportunity to participate in a couple of things. Number one, our unique auctions, which you announced last month. But it'll also put you into, the process of being able to qualify for what we call our Firefly Social Impact Fund. And it's really interesting, Smithy, because we put it together. We think it's a pretty 1 + 1 = 3 type equation. Do you know what I mean? The volunteers are contributing the work to support the organisation. But we need the organisations to make sure that they're giving themselves the best opportunity. And because of this self-earning process, the more volunteers on platform means that the more opportunity we have to go to bigger corporates that have a bigger touch point requirement, which means the more potential socially responsible corporations are going to want to invest in social impact. And that then equals more funding. So
would have been in our old days, I think we labelled it the new ESG, or the economy of social good. There's Correct. One for you. We do like to have our acronyms in our business, Darryl, I've noticed, which is quite humorous. So we're about engaging volunteers, engaging local business, sharing stories, telling wonderful experiences of how people are making an impact, and ensure that we lift and elevate this into the eyes of everyone, because we are strong believers that we're in a world where people are making decisions that potentially are self-motivated, driven around digital economy and all that sort of stuff. We think strongly that this really visceral, connected community is going to come back strong. So we just hope everyone can tell that story. We had a meeting with Al this week. I'll talk to that because I interviewed him. Alan Hale emanates at United Cricket Club down in Sunshine. He's a great participant. He achieved the biggest milestone we've had, which was to achieve 650 hours plus in the last 12 months. And we went out to present a little voucher and a reward that he redeemed for those hours. I'd love for you to tell, because I passed it to you, but I'd love for you to tell the story, which you keep telling me and I keep forgetting, which is what was the reason behind him and the value of tracking hours? Because it was bigger than reward, the point that we emanated to.
Yeah. A couple of things, and we hear about it all the time about the president. I had a couple of conversations not too long ago, Smithy, where presidents are now taking ads in newspapers because they're being tired, they can't get someone else to fill that responsibility. So one of the things that was quite unique about Alan's comment was it was the first time and I think he started volunteering when he was like 8 or 10 or something like that for the cricket club. It's the first time that he's actually been able to go, holy shit, like that's how much time I actually commit. But it also gave him the opportunity to then start to think, how do I work better and smarter as a president? And by understanding probably some of those volunteering tasks that he doesn't need to do, and then how he can help shift that into his community to get more volunteer support. So he was really excited about being able to identify each role. And I think in his video, you said to him, so in what capacity? And he said, president, junior coach, curator, bartender.
That was all. We listed off about 7.
And we're not talking out of school to anyone that's in our community, because you're all doing the same thing. It's the one thing I love about the volunteers, and we've been there, Smithy, as well, is they're just good people that will step up, and if there's a job to be done, there's very little finger pointing about, oh well, that's your responsibility and that's yours and that's your. Volunteers just get in there and do it, and Alan's the epitome of that. So it's sensational to give him some of that real tangible back value.
We've got lots tracking in the same direction, and we've had many conversations with people that wouldn't even recognise doing hundreds of hours. They wouldn't even recognise. They wouldn't even know. They don't even see it. That's not even including. And I'm sure he hasn't put down his travel in that and the things he does.
I reckon there's hours he's missed as well.
No doubt about it. So wonderful stories. It was great to get out and have a chat with him, and we love talking to people in our coffee catch-ups. And I don't drink coffee, so orange juice catch-ups. We're going to close out.
That would have been good.
We're going to hit 20 minutes, man, and that's something that we know we could go hours comfortably together. We could talk about this all day. The one thing we want to make sure we close out on is that there will be a barbecue announced for an organisation next week. We asked some of the orgs we work with to jump through a couple of little hoops. They weren't hard hoops. They were pretty much exactly designed around what our Litra community token touch points will be. And we'll get to announce that next week. So can't wait to do that. That was donated very gracefully by the Barter Card Network. So that was great. And really, at the end of the day, we're just about getting on with it, getting this new product in the hands of some test volunteers. So understand that testing is an app that might not work perfectly from day one. But
I'm going to make an announcement now too, Smithy, to close out on the basis that you keep dropping things. I reckon we've probably got some in our kick as well for when the app comes out to say thank you to the first volunteer that downloads the app from iTunes or App Store.
And puts at least 10 hours on the app. Can we put
a
little bit of a hurdle there, man? Like
Why don't make it 20, right? Because
First, we'll have a few of those, and we'll have a few auctions coming, which are going to be crack. Imagine a 24-hour auction from 10 a.m. in the morning till 10 a.m. tomorrow, and you get to bid with your hours for something unique and something cool, experiences, whatever we can bring to bear, whatever we can cajole and convince our business community to bring in. We will be doing that. Whether I've got to twist arms, I don't care. We're going to get some good stuff for you.
Yeah, and just the final before we go, and I know that we're stretching it. Again, just a quick shout out to Sarah Eiferman, who's been around since the start of.
How could we not? A mentor in the program. That's disgusting, Darryl. Thank you.
Yeah. So Sarah invited us to come down to a community meeting. She's now the president of the Maclean Chamber of Commerce. Great night. She had a whole heap of her community turn up. We spoke personally to 14 different organisations down there. So again, it's that call out of help. So if you know any member of the Chamber of Commerce in your area, we'd love to engage. She's a great advocate. She's been since day one, and it was a funny evening. I had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction.
I didn't really want to bring that up.
Well,
we'll leave that for another day in the stories on socials.
It right? Is. So Sarah, thanks for your ongoing support. Thanks for your mentoring, and thanks for the real value that you see about connecting communities and connecting the residents and the small business sector. And I know you've already introduced us to a number of other of the chambers down that way. So if you know anyone that's in local council area or a chamber of commerce area, then just reach out and grab Courtney and myself, and we'd love to talk to them, because it will help stimulate the growth of our socially responsible businesses joining the platform.
Yep. So signing out, new systems coming into play to ensure we can communicate to you more thoroughly. We've got some new team members. Special shout out to Diana, who does the power work behind the scenes to make this all happen. We've got more team members coming on over the course of the next couple of months. So if you get emails from people that aren't Darryl or myself, trust in that we are growing to support your needs. Have a great July. May the new financial year be fantastic for all of you.
Peace out. Keep being awesome.
Keep being
Thanks,
awesome.
We'll see you in another blink.
Will do.
All right.
All right. Good work, man.